if you look at Africa as a continent, you have this huge, you have the most underdeveloped continent in the world. You have very high levels of unemployment. You have very poor people across the continent. You also have a huge potential demographic dividend in relation to the proportion of the population that is young. And so I think that what that adds up to is really for business is a huge set of opportunities to do business in such a way that you respond to the socioeconomic and environmental challenges that the continent faces. And doing a business like that means really saying, who are my customers, what are my products, and how in the way that I do business can I start to solve social problems. So, for example, across the African continent, there are huge deficits in relation to healthcare. It's a major opportunity for the medical industry at all kinds of levels, as well as for the tech industry in relation to finding some of the kind of high-tech ways of delivering healthcare services. It's a huge opportunity for companies in the infrastructure space because there is such a deficit in relation to infrastructure, and it's a real opportunity for them to develop infrastructure in such a way that they also climate-proof it, and in so doing mitigate the risks of having climate-related impacts affect those investments. And I think pretty much if you go across every single sector of the economy in an African context, there is major opportunity space to be able to do things in ways that are environmentally, socially, and governance-wise sustainable, but that will also, in my view, open up much bigger markets than have hitherto existed, as well as a huge space for innovation in the way that those markets are created. I mean, you've seen it in the solar industry across the continent, where providing low-cost infrastructure that allows houses to be lit at night and people to charge cell phones or to link to Wi-Fi, the kind of benefits of that are huge. The benefits of sustainable agriculture and the benefits of using technology to be able to provide farmers with necessary information results in much better quality and yield of crops, and also can be used to educate farmers around sustainability and around kind of long-term climate risks. So I think there is an enormous opportunity space, and a number of years ago for West Africa, the NBI did a piece of work called Reimagining Africa that really looked across all of these sectors at what those opportunity spaces are, and they are huge. I think that on the governance issue, there is a lot of work to be done across the continent. I think in a country like South Africa, the governance issues are really well covered, and there's a very sophisticated both voluntary frameworks as well as compliance related frameworks, but I think in many other jurisdictions there's a lot of space there, and the conversations are beginning to happen around how business can be conducted in ways that are ethical and with sound and solid governance. So yeah, so I think ESG is critical across the continent. I think the context and the issues faced by people on the continent really, really do demand an ESG approach.